Hi, my name is Jackie Sue Powell with Global Yoga. This is the third episode of a three-part series. In this episode, we'll be focusing on cooling down. This is a great practice to do either at the end of series 1 or 2, or you could just do it after a long day at work. We're going to get started in child's pose at the back of our mat. We're going to start in child's pose. At the back of the mat, bring your knees to the edges of the mat, sink the hips down towards the heels, walk the fingertips forward, and gently bring the forehead down towards the earth. If the forehead doesn't touch the ground, you can bring a blanket or a block underneath of your forehead. Take a few deep breaths here to arrive to your mat. Beginning to bring your awareness to your breath, shifting any thoughts that distract you from your breath, coming into your body, breathing in and breathing out. Noticing sensations in the body and sensations in the breath. From here, we'll inhale, press into the hands, and gently guide the hips up, coming into a nice, strong tabletop pose with the hands under the shoulders and the knees under the hips. We'll come into a twist to start out. We'll place the right hand to the center of the mat. Inhaling, the left arm reaches up high, and then exhaling, we're going to thread the left arm underneath of the right. Taking the right hand, you can begin to walk it out in front of you or over towards the left side, or you can keep the right hand underneath of the right shoulder. If you'd like an additional leg stretch here, you can take the right leg out long behind you, pressing out through the right heel. Or a more advanced variation, you can take the right leg out towards the right side for more of an inner thigh and outer thigh stretch. Breathing deeply, taking whichever variations feel the most accessible in your body today. This is a shoulder stretch and a little bit of a twist in the upper body stretch. You're going to take your right hand underneath of your right shoulder. If your leg is out, bring the knee back down. Inhale, press into the right hand, lift the left arm up, and then exhale, bring the left hand down. We're going to do the other side. Left hand to the center of the mat. Inhale, reaching the right arm up, and then exhale, threading the arm underneath. Side of the head comes down to the mat, and reach the left arm forward if you'd like. If you'd like to stretch out the left leg, you can do that here. Finding whichever variation makes sense for your body. Taking a few nice deep breaths, feeling the shoulders open. When we're in these twisted postures, we need to breathe extra deeply so that we make sure that the lungs are filling completely. On your next inhale, take your left hand, place it underneath your right shoulder, and your left hand under your left shoulder. And inhale, reach your right arm up. Exhale, place the right hand down. Excellent. We're going to walk the hands forward, coming into a modified plank on our knees, shifting the hips forward. Exhale, we're going to bring the belly and the chest down to the ground. If you're off of your mat, you can scoot back, so your chin or your forehead are down on the earth. You're going to bring the hands back behind you, pressing the palms of the hands down. Tops of the feet are pressing into the earth. Kneecaps lift off of the mat. On an inhale, we're going to reach the right leg up behind you and reach it back, stretching the right leg back, and then exhale, placing it down. Doing the same thing for the other side. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, stretch it back, and place the foot down. We're going to start with the lower body here, keeping the chin, the head on the ground, hands on the ground. Inhale, lifting both legs off of the ground. Lifting, 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 using your belly, and then exhale, releasing both legs. We'll go to the upper body now, pressing the tops of the feet down onto the ground, keeping the feet on the floor. Inhale, lift the heart and chest off of the earth. Reach the fingertips back, and then exhale, release down. We'll combine the legs with the heart now. Inhale, opening, reaching the fingertips up and back, reaching the toes back, reaching the heart forward, collarbone forward, gaze is down. If you have any neck issues, make sure you're looking straight down. Otherwise, you can look a little bit forward. Exhale, release down. Bring one cheek to the mat. Rest here for a breath. And then inhale, come back to center. We'll do that one more time. Inhaling, lifting off. Everything lifts off. If it doesn't feel comfortable to bring everything off of the ground, you can always just do the upper body or the lower body, squeezing the inner thighs towards one another, and exhaling, releasing. Other cheek to the mat. For our challenge pose here, a little bit more strength for the arms, reaching the fingertips forward. We're going to lift the heart, the chest, the arms, and the legs off of the ground. Inhaling, lifting everything up, reaching up, squeezing the glutes, squeezing the inner thigh, breathing and reaching. On your exhale, come down, rest for a moment, bring the big toes together, touching, ankles apart. Bring the hands under the shoulders, press into the hands and the knees. Engage the belly, inhale, lift up, and exhale. We're coming into downward facing dog from here, tucking the toes, lifting the hips, up and back, dog pose. Take a few breaths here, stretching out the backs of the legs. Feel free to bend one knee and then the other. Press into the knuckles of the hands, nice long spine. On your next exhale, begin to drop the knees down to the ground. We're going to swing the legs around and come onto our backs, setting up for bridge pose. Keeping the knees bent, we're going to come down. Feet flat on the floor, feet hips distance apart, legs are parallel to one another. Reach back with your hands towards your heels. If you can touch your heels, awesome. If you can't, walk your heels closer to your fingertips. We're going to exhale and press the feet into the earth. On the inhale, we're going to lift the hips up high towards the sky. Keep pressing the feet down and lifting the hips up. In back bends like this, a lot of the strength comes from the legs. So we have to make sure the inner thighs are rotating in towards one another. The knees are pointing away from, or stretching away from us, and the back of the neck is nice and long. On an exhale, we'll gently begin to come down. And we'll do a few bridge rolls here. Inhaling to lift the hips and the hands and the heart. And then exhaling to bring the hips and the hands down. If you'd like to include the heels in this, you can. Inhaling, hips, heels, and hands lift up. And then exhale, bring it down. Two more. Inhaling. And exhaling. Last one, inhale. And exhale. Another great bridge variation is to come into your standard bridge, pressing into the feet, lifting the hips up, and then bringing one shoulder underneath, followed by the other, interlacing the hands behind you, and drawing the interlaced hands towards the heels. Keep rolling the shoulders underneath of you and pressing into the feet, stretching the knees away from your head. Neck is stretching away from the knees. Imagine that you're squeezing one of those yoga blocks in between your legs, strong legs. On an exhale, unlace the fingers and slowly come down. As a counter posture to this, we're going to bring the feet to the outer edges of the mat and just simply allow the knees to rock over to one side. Inhale to bring the knees back up, and then exhale, rock the knees over to the other side. Inhale, bringing the knees up, and then walk the feet back together. We're going to bring the knees in towards the chest. You can interlace the hands around the shins if that's comfortable. You can press down into the low back, or you can rock from side to side. It's your choice, whatever feels better. And then either rocking forward and back, or rocking over to the side, we're going to press ourselves up into a comfortable seat. If you have a blanket, I recommend propping yourself up with a blanket underneath your sit bones. Extending your legs out nice and long, sitting up tall. Bringing your hands to your hips. Taking a few breaths here, pressing out through the heels. Inhale, reaching the arms up. And then exhale, beginning to fold forward. And everyone's going to grab something different, maybe the shins, maybe the ankles, maybe the edges of the feet. The idea here is to keep the back nice and long. So reach for whatever you can reach for without rounding the spine. Inhale, the heart is forward. Exhale, we fold a little deeper. Inhale, open the heart, and exhale, fold. Hold here for 2 breaths. On your next inhale, slowly begin to come out with a nice long spine. Lift your hips off of the blanket, scoot the blanket over to the side. Grab a yoga strap or a scarf or a towel, whatever you have handy, and we're gonna come back to our backs. We're gonna keep the strap or the scarf or towel nearby. We're gonna take the right knee in towards the chest, hugging the right knee in towards the right armpit. You can stay here if this is enough of a stretch, or you can extend the left leg out long in front of you. This is a great psoas stretch. Hip flexor, low back will help all of those things. So, staying here, or you can take your strap and place it around the ball of the right foot. Grabbing a hold of the strap, and then just really letting the leg do the work here. You don't need to pull with your arms. Allow the backs of the arms and the elbows to relax. Even pressure through the low back. We're going to take the strap into the right hand, press out through the heel of the right foot, take your left hand, place it on the left thigh, and then begin to open the right leg out to the side. Once you feel your left hip picking off of the mat, that's the point where you need to stop. So we're not trying to go all the way down to the floor, just until you feel a stretch. Keep pressing out through the heel, even pressuring the low back. Take an inhale to lengthen through the right leg, and then an exhale, the belly engages and the leg lifts up. Good. From here, we're going to come into a twist, so we're going to switch the strap into the left hand. Inhaling, lengthening the right leg, and then exhaling, the right leg is going to come over to the left side. The right arm can come out into T shape, and gaze can go over the right arm. Take a few breaths here. Inhaling to lengthen and stretch in all directions. Exhale, belly engages, reach the leg and the gaze back up. And then exhale, bring the foot down. We'll go to the other side, left knee into the chest. First, hug the left knee in towards the left armpit. If it feels good, you can stretch out the right leg. Take a few moments here to notice any difference from the right to left side. And then we'll take that yoga strap, towel, scarf, bring it around the ball of the foot. And this leg might be a little bit different than the other. It might not go back as far. That's fine. Keep pressing out through both heels, keeping the legs nice and active to protect our hamstrings, the back of the legs. And then we'll take both straps into the left hand. The right hand will come to the right hip. Inhaling to lengthen, and then exhaling to open up the left leg. And it may not have the same range of movement as the other side. Keep pressing out through both heels, active legs, rooted down through the back body. Inhale to lengthen, and exhale to come back up. We'll switch the grip of the strap, inhaling to lengthen, and then exhaling to open and twist. Left foot to right side. Left arm opens into a T, looking over the left fingertips. Only if that feels good for your neck. You can also look up. Enjoy the nice deep stretch to the back of the left leg. Inhaling to lengthen through both legs, through the arms, and then exhaling to come back to center, releasing the strap and bringing both feet down. Bending the knees, feet flat on the floor, we're going to cross the right leg over the left. And this may be enough of a stretch for you. You may not want to go any deeper. You could also bring your left foot up a little bit higher. If you have a block or a book to set your foot on, that might be a good stretch for you. You can also bring your knee all the way in towards the chest, grabbing a hold of the left thigh or maybe even the left shin. There's so many variations of this posture. This is rested or reclined pigeon pose. If you have a regular pigeon pose on your belly, you can always do that now as well. It's a good idea to flex the right foot so you're protecting the right knee, and then just energetically drawing the right knee away from your body. Good. On an exhale, release the left leg down, bring the right foot down as well, and then switch sides. And this side is probably going to be a little different, so it's good to notice these imbalances of the body, really tuning in with the breath, allowing the process to happen. Make sure that your shoulders can relax fully on the ground, that you're not scrunched up, that your head and neck are relaxed calmly. If they're not, then maybe we need to bring the leg down a little further. On your next exhale, bring both feet down to the ground. Inhale to draw the knees into the chest. Give yourself a little hug, a little squeeze. And then we're going to come into our final twist. We're going to bring the arms out long and knees over towards the right side. It's not important how far the knees go down. You can always prop the knees up with a blanket or a block or a cushion. I really like here to pick up the right shoulder to find more space for the left shoulder to firmly root down into the ground. Again, gaze can be up or gaze can be over the left fingertips. Take a few breaths. On your next inhale, fill up the lungs. And exhale, draw the knees back into your chest, using a little core power there. And then exhale, we'll go to the other side. Twisting the other direction, looking over the fingers. Right fingers. And really just enjoying this nice deep twist. These are really good to do at any point of the day, in the morning, at night. Taking a nice deep inhale. And then exhale, bringing the knees back up. We're going to finish off with one of two poses. You can bring your legs straight up overhead. An idea here is you could take the block. If you have a block, you don't have to use a block. But if you have a block, you can place it underneath your sacrum, your low back, and lift the legs up and just keep the legs up and have a nice relaxing pose. It's a little bit of an inversion. It's getting the blood flowing in the opposite direction. So this is one option. Another option, if you'd like a little bit more hip opening, is to come into happy baby. You can grab your ankles, your feet, or your toes, bend the knees, open them up to the side, and you can stay here without moving, pressing into the low back. This is a great low back release, or you can rock side to side. So taking one of those two options, or maybe a combination of the two, and then bringing the knees into the chest, and the feet down to the ground. We're coming into our final pose, Shavasana, rest pose, corpse pose. Legs long out in front of you, arms out to the side. If it bothers you to lay flat on your back, you could always take your blanket and place it underneath of your knees. And that provides a little bit more cushion and support for your low back. If it's not quite enough, you can also bend your knees and rest in Shavasana with your feet on the floor. So here we are in our final pose. Begin to relax the eyes, perhaps closing the eyes, palms facing up. Allow your breath to come back to normal, natural breath. Feel the body become heavy and weighted on the earth. As long as you like here, the longer the better. Shavasana. That concludes our 3-part series. Thank you for joining me and practicing with me. Again, my name is Jackie Sue Powell, and you can find out more information about me and where I'm teaching at JackieSuePowell.com. Thank you and namaste.